Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to episode 32 of Vaesen Behind the Masks. We are joined once again by Jim, Sharon, and Blake.
And we were firmly up shit creek in a gondola without a paddle.
Just the way I planned it. Okay, so who wants to get this?
You should see my notes. Sorry, you should see my notes from last session, because you would imagine what things would be in there, and yet there is no reference to toy maker or giant statues eating people. What the hell was I doing last session? I didn't write anything useful down.
Did you write down the policemen's names? Because I didn't, and apparently that's going to become important.
It might.
Which policeman?
Yeah,
The
there's a
one-
policeman.
I've got one, Captain Artori Nostri.
Thank you.
If the other one gave us his name, I didn't write it down. He didn't have a title.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
No, we were just having too much fun interrupting them because they were twats.
Yeah, so I write that down,
Alright.
but I don't write man gets eaten by giant statue woman.
She was a creepy statue, though.
She was an epically creepy statue.
Very good. All right, so who wants to start first?
Well, I think Agatha has a weapon of some sort
She does.
in her kidney.
Well, shoved into the kid. It's a muzzle of a gun, basically. So just that is kind of snug up behind you while you're being stunned by that grotesque sight of a statue come to life and eating a supplicant. He's come up behind you, shoved a gun into your back, put a hand over your mouth, and very firmly he shoves you up towards the altar. He's walking quickly, so he's going to force you to move with him. And he's
Okay.
for a young lad. I wouldn't say young lad. He is a young adult, however. He's quite strong. He moves really well. He is physically dominating you.
Oh, makes you proud.
He's also got his hand across her mouth.
Oh, yes.
Well, the first thing you do when someone puts your hand across your mouth is you bite it.
Your own son.
Sure. Give me a roll. Let's see if you are successful.
This will go so well because I have all the absolutely no zero skills. Yeah, no.
No. What did you roll, Sharon? Just so the audience knows.
I rolled nothing. 2 dice because I have literally no physical prowess.
No, you do not. You go to bite Chester's hand. He is able to take his hand away from your mouth in time, and then he just turns it, grabs the back of your hair, and it's in a really, really tight grip. If you want to try and break through, you can, but you're going to lose chunks of hair. And he's like, now, that is not how you treat your own son, isn't it?
Well, you called me mother, and I don't believe that I have any right to that title.
You're correct at that, but I have someone who wants to see you. And by this time, you've gone up the aisle, you've walked around the altar, and there's this little wooden door. It's just hidden away in a little stone recess. And he reaches out and, like, lets go of your hair, reaches out, opens a door, and you can see that it's stairs descending down. And he'll nudge you in that direction. Don't fall. And he'll keep pushing you.
Keep pushing.
Yeah. Not pushing to tip you down, but pushing as if to say, keep moving.
I had any physical prowess, which Agatha does not. She would have tried to trip him down the stairs, but alas, she will have to do as he requests.
Demands.
Demands.
Yeah. It's a pretty narrow staircase. Your shoulders are almost brushing it. His definitely would be. It's a really, really tight staircase. And it does wind down. It winds down to 2 flights. Now, automatically, this is interesting because where Venice is built, it's on marshland. It's really, really rare to find anything that goes anything subterranean. Your cellar is kind of a little half level thing. It's exceptional. This thing goes down 2 flights, and you walk out of the staircase into it's a dark vaulted space, but it's old. And along the walls you can see ochre paintings, drawings on the plaster that's all faded and cracked and worn. And the way it's designed immediately makes you think of a crypt. And there's a small altar, and there are candles situated in braziers here. They're just enough to cast a bit of light in the area, but there's still shadow that dominates the whole space. And he walks through it quite easily, fluidly. He knows where he's going. He guides you closer to the altar, and then to the left there's a wooden chair. And he pushes you towards that chair, and with a hand on your shoulder, he forces you down into said chair. Please be comfortable. I don't want you to run away or anything. That would be most unfortunate.
She'll just give him a stink eye.
Mm-hmm. He pulls out a piece of rope and he starts to tie you to the chair.
Is this really necessary?
Yes. Yes, it is. Be a good lady, would you? Just be quiet.
Well, I can obviously see that you have definitely not done your research on me then.
Didn't think I really needed to. He's going to tie you to that chair. So your hands are locked down on the 2 arms. He's not going to tie your abdomen to the chair. He doesn't need to. He's just going to tie your arms to the arms of the chair. And once he steps back, he holsters the gun and looks at you with a cold look. It's not a cold look. It's an unfathomable look. When your friend, the doctor, told me he worked at the Fanelaria, I must admit, the irony was not lost on me. Such a small world, wouldn't you say?
And yet immensely large.
Indeed. Now, just stay there for a little bit. Someone will be in very shortly to have a chat with you. And he turns around and he disappears down one of the dark corridors. You're left alone in this crypt/chapel in silence. You hear the occasional little plink of water dropping somewhere around you. And sure enough, soon you hear footsteps of heeled boots coming from another corridor. And it's a cool, measured stride of a woman's boots. It's not a man. That is definitely a woman. And presently, she emerges from the corridor. She is a lady in her very similar age to you, actually. Maybe a little bit younger, not by much. She's got this aristocrat expression. She is wearing a beautiful black silk dress with golden and pewter brocade on it. She has this curly black hair that's up in a chignon around her head. She's beautifully made up. She's got a very regal impression about her, and she wears a cross around her neck, and there's almost like a big rosary bead on the front of her dress. She'll walk up to you instead.
Before she can even speak, Agatha is going to butt in and look her up and down and go, well, If nothing else, then I believe you must be the one I have to thank for that poor boy not ending up in the workhouse as would otherwise have been our fate.
Do you expect me to applaud you?
Why would I expect you to applaud me? I am simply thanking you for the change in circumstance.
Don't thank me yet. What happens next is going to be predicated by what you say and do.
Agatha will just raise an eyebrow. You have me at a disadvantage.
Purely intentional, I must admit. Now, my name, which I believe you might already know. You've certainly done enough sniffing around.
I did make inquiries once it became evident that Cesare was the boy.
Well, just to allay any misapprehension or correct any mistakes, I'm Caterina Sforza. Pleased to meet you, Agatha Hartwell.
As I said, if nothing else, despite the circumstances, I am thankful that the boy was raised somewhere other than the workhouse.
Cesare. Yes, we were most fortunate as God certainly smiled on us that day. It's very, very lucky he was found. Do you know what happened to him?
I did not even get to hold him once he was born. The child was taken.
Cast adrift into this cold, dark world without hope, without his mother, and
Spare me the sermon. You know very well the circumstances that would befall an unwed mother and a child. There is a reason I am thanking you for taking the child in.
Yes. And your misfortune has certainly become my fortune as well. He is a wonderful son. Strong, noble, capable. He is the best of us. But here, we're not here to talk about the past, are we? We're here to talk about the future. And I feel you and I could be on the same page with a few things.
What might those things be?
I'm the head of our little society here in Southern Europe, which I'm sure you've also been able to garner through your inquiries. You've met Cesare, and you've also met Lucrezio, I believe. By the way, I must thank you and your doctor and that other gentleman, Severino, for saving Cesare. Without their assistance, he would probably not have survived his injuries. And that is the only reason I'm having this discourse with you, rather than dealing with you as some of my ilk would have suggested otherwise.
It is not only fortunate for Cesare that we came across him, it was also fortunate for us. You see, we had just been, dare I say, stranded in the middle of that forest by someone who I would prefer to anger less than you.
That is your prerogative, I guess. But I come to you not as an enemy. Maybe more of a mutual acquaintance. And I do not fear we need to resort to violence to resolve our differences. That is something only the uneducated amuse themselves with. However, I instead propose an agreement. Something between your Fanelaria and my society. After all, it is sad that we share many of the same goals. To stop the Vaesen. You do realise that the Vaesen are the remnants of the old pagan ways, and we will no longer tolerate them. This is the new world.
Yet, you have said that violence is for the uneducated.
God protects the humans. He cares not for animals. Animals have no soul.
That is a very Catholic way of thinking.
Indeed.
Are we not all God's creatures, after all?
We're going to have a theological discussion, are we? But then again, you are a mere Protestant. I am a Catholic. I am derived from popes. So yes, let's have this argument, please. I much enjoy playing a little witty repartee.
I am merely saying that those things that you profess to believe, you do not seem to wholeheartedly believe.
My dear child, I've been fighting the same war. I not only believe it, I live it and breathe it and have bled for it, as have my family and their ancestors. We've been fighting the Vaesen for hundreds of years.
And this is where we do appear to differ. There has been no fighting of Vaesen. There has been no violent resolution, such as you proclaim. There is no war. At least, not on our side.
That may be your perspective, and that is your opinion. I'm simply telling you what my goals are.
Yes, of course, the recourse of the uneducated violence. Yes, we've established this.
I see you are quite a stubborn one. Very well. Maybe I shall cut to the chase.
Yes, perhaps you should.
Stop meddling in these matters. I thought that once Signora Tilo had perished, you thought it would be gone, leaving northern Italy to our care. I see I was mistaken. I can assure you that it will not happen again. Your little order is a painful thorn in my side. So, after tonight, you will find that Venice is a closed door to you.
I think you will find that what you class as meddling is simply the treatment of a wound.
A wound?
A wound. Consider those who we have meddled with. A young boy haunted by voices. Surely this is a wound of the brain. A young woman reliving her traumatic death over and over. Again, a wound of the brain. A city stricken by plague. The plague has been ended, has it not? By the curing and medicine that was required to treat the infection. So I say again, treatment, healing, not meddling.
Is it not the rats that brought the plague into the city? Metaphorically speaking. Kill the rats, the plague never comes.
Now, let me see. In this instance, as you say, it was the rats who brought the plague into the city. But who was it who released those said rats into the city? The greedy and the weak. Very human. Who was it that gave the young boy the doll that caused such visions and voices in his head? Again, this was a human. Who was it that strangled the young bride and threw her into the canal? Again, I do believe this was a human. And who was it that angered a goddess by slaughtering a unicorn. I again believe that was a human. So really, my lady, you may tell us not to meddle, but I believe that your anger and mistrust is misplaced. None of these actions have been the result of Vaesen alone. They have always been the action of a human who are not animals, as you so rightly pointed out.
We can have our objections, and that's fine. I expected nothing less from a member of the society. Honestly, I
do
didn't.
not even speak as a member of society. I speak as simply one who sees things that you will not.
If we had been here and in full control without your meddlesome interference, that doll would never have been created. In fact, after tonight, they will never exist again. That woman that died and lurked in the canals, we would have dispatched her years ago. Thus,
And
presenting
why
other
did
debts.
you not?
Because your society was there. Every single time we attempted to do something for the benefit of this city, society interfered. That is why, after tonight, we will win the battle.
I think you overestimate your power and your influence.
We shall see, Lady Agatha. We shall see. Have a good evening. And she'll pop you a little curtsy, and there's probably a little bit of snidiness about it. And she'll turn around and walk down the corridor that she came in. And you can hear her calling out, "Hurry up, we must prepare." And there's noise in the background, things moving, boxes. You can hear people talking in the distance. So there's definitely activity happening in the corridor that she's gone down. Couple of minutes later, you hear a little giggle behind you. What a lovely surprise! As Lucrezia slides into your view. Oh, he's a little bird, wounded, bleeding, flapping his broken wings, never truly been able to fly, because you held him down and suffocated him. You should have just drowned him when you first met him. Do you not see it in his eyes?
I rather think, child, that you and your mother have succumbed to such madness.
She has this big Cheshire type grin on her face. She'll lean forward and grab your necklace and snap it off your neck, and she will wave it in front of Agatha's eyes. It's funny, because you're always looking at it. The eyes are the window to the soul, Vero. But you still couldn't see what was before you. It took you so long to realize it's delicious. Born from your loins and cast adrift into this world. But he came to us, was raised by us, grew and strengthened and became the fiercest of us. Maybe I should thank you. You gave him to Mother and me. You made him what he is. You set him on this path.
Yes, I do not believe that you have read the latest scientific papers on nature versus nurture. There is no natural state of being. We come into this world as innocents and are shaped by those that affect us. I have done nothing other than, as you said, birth him from my loins. Whatever he is now is entirely owing to your mother.
And it's wonderful. And she turns around and flats out the corridor. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for the moment. You can sit and stew on that. Who wants to go next?
Well, I thought we were together. We were out in the street talking to the
No.
puppet dude, not the puppet dude, the statue dude.
Nope.
No?
Nope. You were talking
No.
to statue dude.
Bennett
Well, you-
went to get Miss Hartwell to tell her that the statue
Oh.
puppet dude was here, and
Mhm.
for
Alright.
you not to go anywhere with him was the last thing he said to you.
Yeah. Well, I grabbed his details and I said I'll catch up with him in a day or two.
No, a couple of hours.
Yeah. So I'll go back to the tavern that Dr. Bennett and I were at, which is only 50 feet away or whatever.
Okay, so you two together. All right, that's cool. You're in a tavern. It's rowdy, it's noisy. People are drinking and celebrating. It's about, I don't know, 9 o'clock already. It's been a great night for almost everyone involved out here. It's cold, but it's, fires are nice and cheery. There's wine and grappa and all sorts of spirits flowing freely.
All right,
Such a-
I'll ask some of the people there if they've seen Agatha, and I'll describe her and say, she was here a minute ago.
Let's see what they might be capable of. Nope. You ask and ask and ask. No one seems to have seen her. You don't know if you've got their attention or, their minds are elsewhere. They don't really care, but how
Yeah.
else? Like, Agatha's a 40-ish lady with brown hair and a coloured dress, and it's really hard to pick that out of a crowd. Do you know what I mean? Remember that.
All right. I'll go out to the street. Is there like a box or something I could stand on? Like a crate
Yeah,
or
there'll
something?
be like lampposts and things like that.
I'll kind of stand up a bit higher now. Yeah, like Agatha a couple of times and sort of look around.
Mm-hmm. You gain some attention doing that, including some carabinieri that are patrolling the area, and you see them glance up at you and frown a little
All right.
bit.
Yeah, I'll wander over him and say, I've been looking for my friend. She went missing. And I'll describe what she looks like.
We'll keep an eye out for her. If we find her, where shall we tell her to meet you?
Just here is fine.
This lamppost?
Yep, that'll do.
We will try and do our best. And they'll amble back off into the crowd. Yes, they are looking for her, but they've still got to do their job too.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll keep an eye out in the street and occasionally I'll call up, Agatha, look around.
Mm-hmm. You get a lot of weird looks. Pazzo is mad. Too much to drink.
Seems odd, don't you think, Severina, that she would have strayed so far, considering we were drenched in terror just moments ago about being separated? Do you think she went back to the villa?
Not without telling us. That would be odd.
Yeah, it would be. So you sit there for a while and you keep scouting the area.
That's half of what I was honestly thinking. I was thinking of doing like a look around to be like if I was Miss Hartwell,
Where would I be?
where would I go? What would draw my eye?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't she talk to lots of ladies and gossip and what do they call them, sewing circles and lady club places? Is there one of those around here, Bennett?
I don't know how the sewing ladies of Venice spend their New Year's Eve.
It seems like most of the city's outside at the moment, enjoying the celebrations as New Year's rolls around.
I mean, Bennett would not know he's looking for this, but do I see an open church door? Because that's what originally drew her to the church, was seeing someone go in there.
It is, but where you are, there will be like 2 or 3 different churches And most of the doors by now would be closed.
Okay.
They wouldn't be locked, but the doors would be closed. It's not open.
Yeah, I was
hours.
wondering if that one had been left open, but okay.
No. And Dr. Bennett, you have these ladies come up and flirt with you outrageously. Even you, Severino, they're
No.
having fun
I cannot, but
trays of food.
Young Dr. Bennett here, he is quite the eligible bachelor.
There's trays of food and
the thought of you as a statue becomes more appealing by the second, Severino.
I was trying to help. I thought you'd like some, a respectable lady in your company. Or perhaps
Indeed.
a not respectable lady in your company.
Only one respectable lady I'm currently on the lookout for, Severino. That is Miss Hartwell.
Oh, into the older ones, hey? Okay.
So yes, celebrations abound. Time ticks on.
Yes, perhaps she'll circle back. So I think we'll sort of cautiously hang around.
Yeah, I think any temples or like churches nearby, we'll go and knock on the door and just say, "Have you seen Agatha? This is what she looks like. You guarantee you would have met her before. Have you seen her?
Yeah, maybe she went to pray for our souls. Maybe we'll find her at one of the churches.
We need all the help we can get at this point, so yes."
Yep, you can go to the churches in the vicinity of. The doors are closed, but you can actually still open and access them. The churches themselves are empty. And you can see that the statues that were in the processions earlier in their various churches and still all made up with flowers and everything. So, but it's empty in there.
So I have sixth sense. So when I investigate an area, if I get extra successes, I can sort of like detect if there's been some Vaesen shenanigans afoot. Can I do that to see if when I open that particular sort of church door, I get the waft of Vaesenness?
How long does it last?
Waft of Vaesenness.
You may spend extra successes to learn if a Vaesen has been in the area, gain more or less vague impressions of what kind of Vaesen it is, and find out if magic has been used. It doesn't tell me how long my sixth sense lasts, but I get the impression it must be a relatively long time, because I feel like it's designed for like investigating crime scenes.
Okay. Roll me.
Come on.
Oh, one success, not enough.
I'm going to push it. There we go.
3 successes.
Take my mental condition.
Attaboy. You walk into one church, and it's not the one. You don't know this, but it's not the one that Agatha's gone into. And you look around, and you see one of the statues that had been in the procession, and there's a very faint glow on it. Do you sit there and investigate it, or do you go to another church looking for Agatha?
Severino, this statue in here, and I'll like gesture him inside, like to shut the door so we're both in. Doesn't it seem unusual to you?
How is that unusual? I mean, has it got 4 arms or something, or is it gold instead of lead or concrete, or I don't know? How is that unusual?
No, I don't quite know, and I will step up to it to investigate closer.
It's another of those beautifully carved statues. Very, very fine, blonde wood, very close grained and carved like it was made out of alabaster. It's draped with clothing. It's this man that's looking up towards God in a supplicating
This sounds more like a mannequin than a statue.
It's not. It's definitely a wooden carved statue.
I'll tickle it.
Nothing happens. Shocking.
It's a statue, Dr. Bennett. I'm not sure what what you're expecting here.
I bet good coin that this is the work of that toy maker of ours.
Well, he does good work, obviously. I'm not sure what the problem is.
This thing just creeps me out. I don't know. Can't explain it, but I felt the same way when I rescued. Well, I didn't rescue him. When I found that drowned man. something was off then, and something is off here.
All right. I'll gently nibble on the elbow. Does it taste like wood?
It tastes like wood and lead paint.
Oh, yeah. It's a statue. I'm not sure what. Yeah.
Maybe the green cloak, the painting on it tastes a little bit of Shields green. Arsenic.
Yep, there's absolutely nothing dangerous about this statue.
Yeah, it's fine.
The toxic materials it's wrapped in. I think, Bennett will sort of acquiesce at this point and go, right, no, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, I can't see Agatha here. I can't smell her, her perfume or anything, so maybe try another church.
Yeah. So we'll just continue the search and then,
You try a second church and you walk into that one. And this is just a little pokey chapel. But again, there's a statue. And
Now, these statues are popular.
Has a faint glow to it, Bennett.
I mean, are you honestly telling me, Sabrina, that doesn't seem strange to you? Look at it.
How heavy is it, this statue? Is it like 50 kilos or?
Oh, they're full size, so what's human size? Oh, yeah, somewhere between about 80 kilos.
Oh, okay, so yeah, a bit too heavy.
Do you have a weapon on you, Sabrina?
Of course, and he whips out a knife and a gun before you can blink.
Bennett looks to the closed church door and goes, just give it like a... If this doesn't work, we'll definitely know if Miss Hartwell's in this church. Give it a quick whack.
All right, I'll tickle it with my knife.
No reaction. No.
Shoot it in the head, Sabrina. Cap it.
Wait, is this wood or?
This is wood.
Okay, I can cap it then.
No.
You're going to shoot it?
I'm going to point the gun at it and I'm like, are you sure?
Just do like that iRobot movie. Just see if it'll flinch. No.
This statue is often like a shepherd with a crook in its hand and looking out for
trust
sheep.
those bastards. All right. I'm putting my gun on it. Do you want me to shoot it?
No, it's fine. The last thing we need is police wondering why we're shooting at statues. God, I think I've just shaken up. I'm just hoping she's okay.
Well, as do I, but I'm pretty sure she's not here. I'll yell out, Agatha!
Crickets. By this time, Severino, your appointment with the woodcarver is almost up.
Yeah. I was going to ghost him anyway. I'm too tired. Yeah. Let's just go home, eh? She might have already gone home. See if they've seen her. If not, you can come back out.
Yes, I suppose. I will make one more stop at like the square to see if she's come back there. But if she's not there, I'll then let's go see if she's returned to the villa.
Yeah, sure. By the time you've been looking at these churches and at these statues, it's pretty much midnight by this stage. So the festival is almost in a feverish pitch by now. Everyone's hanging out in anticipation for the great big fireworks to light off, and sure enough, as you kind of look for Agatha, explosions start to go off around you when coloured lights shimmer across the sky, and the crack and the smoke from the fireworks is just blinding and mesmerising at the same time. Can you two give me an observation roll, please?
I'm pretty sure I know what's happened. A bugger.
I can't
As
believe
usual,
she's
I
missing
got
this.
no successes.
No successes. No successes.
Can
So
I guess what's happened?
Ah, you
Yeah.
can guess, and I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Has someone blown up the villa?
Oh my god.
No, no one's blown up the villa.
Ah,
I thought
Damn
they
it.
might have tied Miss Hartwell to a comically oversized firework and launched her into the sky.
launched her into the lagoon. Yeah.
Woo! No. You're sitting there and the fireworks kind of just snatches your attention. It's pretty amazing. And then you hear a shout that isn't a celebratory one. And the mood changes. Laughter turns into screams of panic as you hear a pop over there and a bang over there and crashing over there. Explosions are happening around you, not above you. People start to surge and run away in a panic. It's a mad scramble. Almost a stampede as everyone's just trying to find some place of safety, escape some way or
Can
another.
I go up a pole or a statue or something, try and get some high ground?
You can climb up a pole, but the pole has a bit of decoration, maybe up to half a meter, and then it's pretty much a flat,
Yeah.
a column like for a
I'll
light
just
thing.
cling on to something so I don't get swept away in the cloud.
Yeah.
Crowd.
Yeah. Well, people are falling over, getting trampled, shoving through crowds, all in this desperate rush to get away. The crowd kind of surges, Bennett, and it pushes you along with it. You end up near one of the palazzi. And there's
Hopefully not Dario.
not the Dario. No, not the Dario. And you hear explosion nearby, and it's quite loud. And you turn your head, and you can see smoke and debris blowing out from a window from a nearby palazzo belonging to the Ipato family.
Yeah, I mean, this whole time I think Bennett was against the stream. He was trying to go towards where everyone was running away from, thinking they might be wounded. And so now when he sees that, that's where he's heading. He's heading towards the building.
Yep. Give me an observation roll then, please.
I'm trying to make observation happen. It's not gonna happen. Ah, my god.
Not with 2 dice, you don't.
Strained. Strained, and I'm not empathetic.
You blunder into the house through the shattered front door, and in the front foyer of the house, you see the wooden shattered remnants of a bier and pieces of wood and fabric and chunks of metal blown every which way.
Yeah, Bennett's like yelling out, "Hello, is anyone here? Call out!"
A lady looks down, is above on the staircase above you, and looks down at you, and she like, "Assassino! Assassino!" And she's pointing your fingers at you. And you hear people shouting, "Assassino!"
See,
People
if
in
only
the
if only I
crowd.
had my Italian to English dictionary, I could know what they're saying.
People in the crowd are turning towards you and looking at you, and the mood is shifting. It's getting dangerous.
What? No, I'm trying to help. Take my. Yeah, like,
Assassino! Help me! Aiutami! Help!
Venetian culture so confusing. I meant to ask for permission. Bennett like steps back. If she doesn't seem concerned by the fire and is so focused on him, he would step back, like, apologizing.
Yeah. As you step back into the crowd, a man grabs you by your shoulder and he pushes you, grabs you, and shoves you up against the wall. You do this, you do this.
I do
And he's-
what?
He's in your face, he's roughing you up, he's shaking you, and he's not being gentle. And
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
you do this?
I don't know what the bloody hell are you talking about? I didn't. I don't even know what I did. The guy, I'm English, man. I'm trying to push him off of me.
He's got these big glassy eyes and his face is flushed and red. The alcohol's not helping your situation. Give me a force. Let's see if you can swirl out of his skip.
Won't matter.
His grip. Nope. He grabs you and he pitches you into the crowd and you know, just throws you down. And he goes to give you a kick. Give an agility and you get out of there.
It's not gonna go well either. Nope.
Nope. While you're on the ground, he lands a kick in your guts. It's gonna wind you. Not gonna hurt you. I think it's more gonna wind you because he's not. Yeah. He's drunk. He's not actually hitting with effect. It's just more, you know, those big sloppy haymakers and those grossly exaggerated movements. You go, yeah, I can roll with some of these.
I think Bennett has that moment, like he's on the floor, winded, and like people are like all around him, stepping over him, you know, and whatnot. And there's just this like weird out of body moment where it's like, is this where I die? You know, like, is this the end? Just in some random street. And he's going to try to like scramble away, basically.
As you do, 2 female arms grab you underneath your arms and just help reef you up. It's one of your girls, and she just pushes you into the crowd. Go.
And like without like stumbling over his words, just rushes off.
Yeah. All right, we're going to leave it there, Blake. You're going to be starting next session, so hang tight.
The prostitutes will save us all.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's session, and I guess I'll see you next week. So thank you to Blake, Jim, and Sharon. I'll see you later. Ciao.